So first question I got for you, Davey, is how did you come up with the band name? Did you just pull it out of a hat? Did it actually have some kind of meaning? Because some bands just, they throw out a name there. Hey, that sounds cool, but we don't really have a meaning behind it. Is there an actual meaning behind Turning Virtue? Or does it just sound cool?
Well, it does sound cool. I think it has a bit of ambiguity to it, and because of that ambiguity, means that you can go anywhere you want. So it can mean anything to anyone. Turning Virtue actually came about when, back in, I'm going to say it was the mid-'90s, and DPA, bass player, my bud, we've been together since day one with this band. Grew up together on Meyer Road in good old P-Town, USA, Pendleton. So the name Turning Virtue, again, DPA had a song called Turning Virtue. Oh. And I looked at that and I was like, I just like that for a name, And he was like, really? I'm like, yeah, I just think it would be a really cool name. We were looking to change the name of the band anyway at that time. And just thought it sounded cool. There was nothing else really behind it. It just sounded different. So, years later, now you move on maybe 20 years later, and as I look at the name Turning Virtue, it means so much more to me. Being a Taoist, understanding turning, the constant change, changing virtue. I mean, we see this in politics every day. We see it on the news. We see it in our families. The virtue that changes. Why is it changing? Do people just say, well, I can do what I want, I can change any time I want? That kind of idea. So that's what Turning Virtue is. It's because you can either hold on to your virtue and move, on a linear path towards superstardom or towards some sort of greater sense of life, or you can kind of veer off that path, and that's what Turning Virtue is.
That's cool. I had my own different interpretations of the band name, but I had some of the similar concepts, like it's just rotating life, which you just really expanded on. There's a lot of meanings. Like we talked about before we started this video, man, you can interpret art, no matter what kind of art it is, in many different ways. You had a similar concept, and I had one, but the origin of the band name. So it's really about how you just look at the art and what your idea and interpretation of it is.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what's really nice. Even though I gave you a basic overall definition of what Turning Virtue is or what it might mean to me, it can mean anything to anyone, wherever you're at in your life, the different movement of life and how your life evolves or changes. And that's all right, man, because it's no different than when we look at Turning Virtue, when we create an album or a song even. It might change multiple times within the song or within the album, and those different feels are all that turning and that changing. And that's the way we try to approach it. And that's why we call it progressive. It's for lack of a better term sometimes.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's quite the answer for that question. And it's definitely not generic, and that's what I love about it, man. It's experimental. You can interpret your art many different ways. It's really cool stuff.